It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. Who's offended today? Who's offended?
I'm so offended by your shirt.
Who's offended?
Because it's red.
Yeah. Post it. You know, Allison will post pictures of what happens is we encourage people, like if they buy one of our shirts or whatever, we send us a picture. Right, wearing the shirt. So that's our influencer program, so to speak, is we just post the pictures. We ask their permission and we say, can we post, this?
And it's good for you if you get reposted.
Yeah. And they send the deal. And so you never know. I mean, we do a collage of pictures with people. So we posted this picture the other day of this young lady. I don't know her personally, but she's with her dog, and she's wearing our Texas Neanderthal tee.
I got to get that one.
People are losing their minds because they're like, I am very disappointed that you would post a woman, and I'm like, I'm confused as what you're offended by. And then people are like, they think it's my wife. They're like, he could post pictures of his family if he wants. It's like,
where are these people coming from? Are they first timers? They're just stumbling across your Facebook page. And like,
I promise you, just in the last, since the election, it's like IQ points just started dropping.
Yeah.
Like really, just the stuff online on social media has just gotten dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. And people have gotten more sensitive, right?
Oh, 100%.
Just so sensitive to every little thing.
Yep.
Me, however, I don't give
a
yeah. I'm going to keep doing it and having a good time doing it.
There's no shaking Chad.
No, man. That's exactly right. You need some help with your earrings?
Yeah, my earrings, I love these. They're just falling out.
Just giant?
They're as big as my head.
They're huge. The Puppet Master Mark and Candice, the Queen of the Ethiopians, driving us into the nether regions today here in the Mothership Studio 22. Always good to be in the studio. I am blessed. I got to, I was traveling and I was sitting there thinking, sometimes you're like, okay, I got to go do this. I got to go to this city, or I got to be back in studio, or I got to do anything. And I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, I am blessed. I get to do things that I love to do. And if I don't love doing it, I don't want to do it, right? I'm surrounded by the best people, the best team of folks, the most talented people, and I just love being able to do what I do. And I'm glad that you come in here. I know you get paid handsomely.
I love coming in here. You pay me so much.
So much. And you're all fired, by the way. Just to let everybody know.
No shows next week, everyone. Chad will be back in his trailer, in his truck, doing his shows.
Makeup. Yeah. So I just want to say that. I'm blessed because everybody that watches this show and listens to this show, and I can't say thank you enough. It's good
so
stuff.
Nice. Hashtag too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah, too blessed to be stressed. And I want to apologize. I don't know what for, but I just need to apologize.
Not on this show.
There were a lot of people who saw our clip on Facebook, Candace, about the apology thing, and you didn't include the clip of the actual apologies that people were doing on the YouTube. And people were like, where is this clip? What is he referring to? And you said it would stir things up, just doing the whole talking about the apologies. We were just saying, let's do an apology without any explanation of why we're apologizing, right?
We're apologizing in future because we're bound to say something that's going to offend 100,000 people.
Well, and Candace asked me just for an apology video, and it totally slipped my mind, and I forgot with everything going on. And I was like, I was sort of kind of scared to do it anyway, because I was like, people are going to think I really did something wrong.
I'm apologizing in advance for something that I don't know what I'm going to say, but I know that it will piss some of you off.
This apology culture.
Oh.
So I got the book Am I Crazy coming out August 3rd. You can pre-order it right now, wherever books are sold. Go to Amazon, do whatever. Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. Get it. Already working on the second book. The second book is called Outrageous.
Oh.
An unapologetic patriot takes a look at people's rage. And, we'll dress that up a little bit.
I like that.
But right now, it's Unapologetic Patriot. Am I crazy? An unapologetic patriot takes a look at, or takes on, today's woke world. And so I want to talk about rage, like how people are just so outraged by everything. And they're offended. And they want you to apologize, right? They need you to bow.
Because if you don't, then you're canceled.
Yeah, they need you to bow to their rage.
Right.
And it's like, I don't owe you anything.
No.
I owe you nothing. So what if you were offended? Offendedness, and that ain't even a word. Being offended is not currency. You can't spend it.
Yeah.
Right? No one gives a crap if you're offended. That's not something that you're collecting. I'm collecting all of my offenses.
Uh-huh.
Get over yourself. You're not that important.
And also, I don't know. How about if you're offended, then you don't follow us.
Yeah.
And you don't message us.
People love it though.
No, they
get
do.
off on it.
It's definitely something that they thrive off of. Like they love it. It's their rush, you know?
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's another book idea. I was just talking with our buddy Jennings in there. The loss of curiosity in our culture. People aren't curious anymore. They say that by the age of 7, they used to say by the age of 7, a lot of times children have lost their ability to wonder anymore. And the amazement of just the world around you has gotten lost. We were driving through some of the most beautiful places in Texas the other day, and I caught myself just head down in the phone, you know? And I have friends who'll tell me, they're like, it's annoying how much you're in that phone.
No, I know. I'm the same way.
Yeah. But you know what? We're important people.
Well, we're
Lisa.
so important, and we're not apologizing for it.
We're not apologizing for being so amazing.
Absolutely. We're fantastic.
If I don't click like on your comment under my thread, I don't feel like my day's complete, Mark. Hey, wearing a face covering, physical distancing, hand washing, all of those things are great things. They keep you healthy, and we're conscious of those things much more now with COVID-19 being what it is. Eating a healthy diet is essential to building a strong immune system. What you put in your body matters, folks. It makes you less susceptible to infection. And I want to encourage you guys to go visit with my friends at Field of Greens. Field of Greens is packed with 18 clinically researched essential fruits and vegetables. Got green tea, ginger, turmeric, and beets, stuff that you typically don't put in your body on a regular diet. Got a bunch of fresh fruits and vegetables. And additionally, it's supporting your heart health. It's your immune system, your metabolism, your blood pressure, all that stuff we deal with, your digestion, pre and probiotic. It's good for everybody, young and old. Your athletes need to be on this. Just put a scoop in a glass of water every morning, stir it up, drink it. You're done. Go to brickhousechad.com. I'll get you 15% off your first order with the promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad at checkout. It's the easiest and fastest way to start living a healthier life. It's available in multiple flavors. Go to brickhousechad.com, brickhousechad.com, promo code CHAD. We'll be right back.
I'm offended by the rugs in the studio, Chad. Change them.
I supported you until I saw the rugs. You had my support until this.
Till I saw the frayed rugs.
Yeah. Did I really have your support?
The distressed rugs.
A top aide to Vice President Kamala Harris tempered a White House announcement this week that she would oversee efforts to stem the flow of migrants at the southern border, a politically fraught task amid the growing crisis. The vice president is not doing the border, Harris's senior advisor and chief spokeswoman Simone Sanders told reporters on Friday, adding that the vice president is strictly dealing with the root cause of migration. Well, I think we talked about that last night. You do have to look at the root cause of it. Mm-hmm. Sanders said the task would entail outreach to leaders of Mexico and so-called Northern Triangle countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, calling it a challenging situation. It's diplomatic work that needs to be done, and Vice President Harris is looking forward to doing it. So Harris's new diplomatic task begins at a moment of intense scrutiny as lawmakers from both parties seek to draw attention to the growing number of people apprehended at the southern border. After visiting the facilities where these kids are being kept that are close to my daughter's age, the stories we're hearing are beyond horrifying. What's happening to these young girls? That was Republican Cindy Hyde-Smith. And, on and on it goes. It's a crisis. I mean, it really is. And Sanders said that while Harris intends to travel to the border in the future, she has no trip planned.
Yeah, in the future when 100,000 illegals get in? I mean, how many are coming in by the day?
Yeah.
Like, what are the numbers? Do you know?
I don't.
But lots and lots and lots. There's no plan.
Yeah.
Biden's not going.
Yeah.
This is awful.
It is. Did you see when they asked Biden the other day about Trump going?
Yeah, I don't know about that guy. I'm not doing what the other guy's doing.
Yeah, don't care what the other guy's doing.
Mumbling under his 17 masks.
They got the vaccine passport, the first vaccine passport coming to New York. New York. Somebody said, Mark, the other day, they said when we totally screwed up
Our apology?
the song when we were singing it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember what the song was. We were purposefully singing it like crap. People were like, y'all should karaoke on every show.
I would love that.
I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one. Top of the heap. Yeah. Start spreading the news. New York, New York. People are like, oh, stop. Similar to mobile airline boarding passes, individuals will be able to either print out their pass or store it in their smartphones using the Excelsior Pass wallet app. Each pass will have a secure QR code, which participating businesses and venues can scan using a companion app to verify proof of COVID-19 negative test results or proof of vaccination. Huh. This bugs me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we no longer fear a virus. What we fear is the poll of public opinion. We're wearing the masks these days because we're afraid someone out there is going to judge us. That's what's going on. They're thinking you think you're going to be judged if you don't put the mask on. And so they're identifying with the mask, virtue signaling with the mask. People are no longer worried about a virus. They're not. The virus, in the grand scheme of things, didn't kill people. I mean, 80%, they said 80% of Americans who were hospitalized with COVID were morbidly obese, were overweight or morbidly obese. Okay? That's a pre-existing condition, right?
Yep.
So this thing, you look at the numbers. The mortality rate of it was not huge. I know they flash up, 540,000 people have now died from COVID and all this stuff. Ever since the mask mandates have been lifted in Texas and in Mississippi, the rates have gone down. But people don't care about the virus anymore. That's not what it's about.
No.
They got a signal. They care about people's opinions of them. You get the looks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I find myself all the time. I've said this. When I go into stores without a mask, I'm a people person, and I love to talk to people and meet new people. I'm afraid to look at anybody. Yeah. I don't even make eye contact with anyone who's wearing a mask because I do feel like they're judging me.
Yeah.
And they are, but I don't care because I'm breathing in my fresh air.
How dare you?
Yeah, you're so selfish.
Did you see the woman who was, I think it was the teacher's thing, who was trying to talk about the importance of masks, and she passed out from wearing a mask while she was talking on.
Well, one more thing about the masks I want to say. You know, people come out at people like me who don't wear masks, and I've already had COVID, and I want to say to those people, like, I did the time. I followed the rules. My whole family, as soon as we found out we were exposed, we immediately all got tested. We immediately all quarantined, and I stopped my life. And I know that it's very inconvenient for a lot of people, and that's why I know a lot of people that knew for a fact they were exposed or tested positive, but were asymptomatic and went about their lives. Yeah. And I will be the first to say that's super selfish. Yeah. And so don't come at me and don't shame me and be mad at me because I'm not wearing a mask. I stopped my life and I quarantined, and I literally did not leave my house for 12 days. So y'all can just screw off. All of you. Back it up.
I don't know why. Like, I wish like my life would be so much easier if I was just weak-minded and didn't care.
Yeah.
Like just said, yeah, stick me with a non-FDA approved serum that is an experimental vaccine. Just stick me in the arm with it and let me have it. And then I want to get on Instagram and I want to show everybody my little Band-Aid and my little COVID passport, my little report card of getting the whole thing.
To prove everybody that.
Look, I got it.
I'm following.
But I'm not wired that way.
Nope. I'm not.
I am a contrarian. I need to go see your therapist.
I'll give you your number. I'll slip you your number.
I don't want to drive all the way to Slake.
It's 15 seconds.
It's not.
I'll be your assistant and drive you. It's fine.
It's not. I don't live there. I'm not amongst all of you white people.
You white privilege.
You supremacists.
White privilege.
Yeah, it's sad. Merriam-Webster, speaking of white people, Merriam-Webster adds a new meaning for colorblind, says it can show racism. So they changed that.
Oh, good.
Though the term means not influenced by a different race, and especially treating all people the same regardless of race, colorblind can also have racist connotation, according to the influential dictionary. Yeah.
Everybody's racist. Everybody judges.
Did you see where they included the word supposedly?
What? What?
The dictionary now has the word supposedly.
What is it?
They've made it a word now.
We are getting dumber as a society.
Instead of supposedly.
Yep.
Now supposedly.
We're so dumb.
It ain't a word. And your washcloth is not a wash.
Washcloth. Did they put that? Did they approve that? Is that in the
No,
Merriam dictionary?
I'm just saying that to all my rednecks.
Whoosh.
Wash. Speaking of my rednecks, I'm gonna be with you guys. We're gonna be hanging out in Arkansas Friday, Saturday night. Gonna be in Fort Smith and El Dorado. But I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah, you can't win in today's world. You can't do anything that doesn't not upset someone or offend someone or trigger somebody.
Well, if there's a big red button on the wall and I keep saying, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it, and I say that to the kids, you know what the kids want to do? They want to go touch it, right? So we're creating a whole new mindset and culture here that we fought for years to abolish and get rid of. And now we're going back to segregation.
Yep.
You know, with separate graduation ceremonies, separate classes, all of this stuff.
I know, yeah.
It's like these people fought to get equality and to get rid of segregation, get rid of Jim Crow. And now we're going right back to this stuff. And then you got Merriam-Webster that comes along and says, well, you know, you may say you're not racist, but you know you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, what is with this microphone today? It's like, you know you are. Mm-hmm. And if you say you're not, it just means you are.
It's opposite. Whatever you say.
It's opposite day in America.
It's opposite day every day in America. Such a joke.
Yeah, that's right. The monkeys have taken over the circus this past week while the nation was distracted by Joe Biden's dementia-ridden incompetence and Andrew Cuomo's predatory misogyny. The Satanic Temple of Texas filed suit to defend its religious right to engage in child sacrifice as a spiritual ritual.
What the?
There's the circus for you.
What the hell?
Yeah. The Satanic Temple of Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston filed a lawsuit against the state of Texas alleging certain state-mandated abortion regulations violate the religious liberty of its members and violate the temple's religious teachings. The Satanic Temple wants its followers to be exempt from such regulations. The temple has members across the country, including in Texas. It's legal to get an abortion in Texas, clarifies the Observer, but the procedure is banned after 20 weeks unless a life-threatening medical condition is involved or the fetus has a severe abnormality. If a person is eligible, the state requires them to get a sonogram and receive paperwork about medical risks, adoption alternatives, and developmental stages of the fetus. The state then requires a woman to wait 24 hours after receiving the sonogram and paperwork before she can go through with the abortion. But the temple's members consider abortion a ritualistic practice, according to co-founder and spokesperson, I'm not even saying their name, who maintains the state regulations disrupts this ritual. This person who is the head of whatever says, we have a distinct kind of procedure for this, and in no part of this do we include getting sonograms or any other medically unnecessary acts as required in Texas. They feel like it's a violation of their religious liberty.
So you don't want to get a sonogram because you don't want to validate that you have a beating heart. You have an actual...
Oh, imagine that,
baby.
Right?
Wow.
Like the Satanic Temple is admitting that it's a baby.
Right.
The ritual goes like this, according to this person. Before the abortion takes place, a member of the Satanic Temple will look at her reflection, be reminded of her personhood. They're assuming a lot of genders here. And responsibility to herself. Take deep breaths, focus on her intent, and make herself comfortable. When ready, she will say the third and fifth tenet of the temple aloud. You want to hear that tenet?
Oh, I'd love to.
Oh, here you
Please,
go. The third tenet reads, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. And the fifth reads, beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs.
So what about one's self-responsibility about getting pregnant? What, she just pray, or not pray, I guess, pray to Satan that she gets a baby just dropped in her stomach? How's that work? These people are insane.
I'll tell you how it works. The woman would return to her reflection and cite her personal affirmation that says, by my body, my blood, by my will, it is done. That's it. This person's own will. So... Yeah,
cool. Crazy.
So they want to abort their babies as a form of ritual sacrifice. And they're suing the state of Texas in order to be able to do it.
You need to abort abortions.
I need a therapist.
I know. The more we talk about this... Maybe I should rebook and go tonight. What the hell?
You better go on
it.
You better rebook.
What's wrong with people?
No. Well, I can tell you church membership's below 50% for the first time.
I believe that.
Thousands of churches are closing annually. Easter's coming up Sunday. The Gallup survey, 47% of Americans belong to a church, synagogue, or mosque. Historic decline.
Don't you love how all the churches are closed? You can't go. But it's cool to take all the illegal immigrants, put them in a facility, make sure that they're comfortable, they're being fed, all of that.
No, it's.
But churches are closed, schools are still closed in parts of the country. But it's cool. Come on over. Joe Blow ain't coming to check the border. Kamala Harris has no plans to go down to the border.
Yeah. Sad deal.
It's such a joke. Country, the president, the vice president, everything's a joke.
We're being played like fools.
We really are.
I mean, I hope everybody enjoys their Easter weekend, but we're being played like fools.
Freak, man.
And we're playing right into the whole thing.
I feel like this is like throwback to Ashton Kutcher's like punked. It's a big fat punked year.
Yeah. Like I saw a funny meme of this person screaming and crying while Armageddon was happening. The world was on fire behind her. It says 2020 me, and then 2021 me. She's laying out in the sun with all the same shit going on behind her. The world's on fire.
It's true.
Oh my gosh. Hey, credit score. Most of you think 700 is good and below 700 is bad. That's not always necessarily the case. It's National Credit Awareness Month. ScoreMaster, the new science and credit scores, is inviting listeners, regardless of your credit score, to experience how quickly you can add plus points to your credit score. How many points? Well, the average ScoreMaster user adds 61 points. I added about 40 to mine. Pretty interesting. It takes about 20 days or less to do that. Many do it in just a few days. Imagine what 61 points added to your credit score could do for you. Save a bunch of money if you're buying a car or financing a home, if you're going in to rent an apartment, if you're buying anything on credit. ScoreMaster puts you in control of your credit and finances. It's National Credit Awareness Month, folks. Sign up in 1 minute and see how many plus points you can add. With ScoreMaster, you control your credit score. Visit scoremaster.com/Chad. That's scoremaster.com/Chad. I want you to go there and see what you can do. We'll be right back. Whatever happened to Hunter Biden's laptop? Where's that thing? What happened to all that stuff? It just got swept under the rug.
Well, we had I feel like, the border is the big news now. No one cares about Hunter Biden. Yeah. Everyone's focused on that. I feel like I'm not really hearing too much more about Corona every once in a while. Right now, I feel like every time I turn on the news, it's just the border.
Well, we had the mass shootings, which kind of took our eyes off of the border for a minute. And then, major media outlets still aren't talking about Texas trooper Chad Walker that was shot and killed the other night.
I've only seen local stations.
Yeah. Shot through his windshield. You got to change that. That's something I'm wanting to look into personally. Is these guys need to have bulletproof windshields.
Glenn needs to send these troopers to where he goes to get his car all bulletproofed up.
But that needs to be standard issue. I think in these these automobiles. In these police cruisers and cars, I think it needs to be.
It has to happen, especially now that everyone hates the cops.
Yeah, I mean, there's and people will hear this and they'll reach out to me, and I welcome you to reach out to me. But I'm interested in this as a subject. This is a major thing. It's a shame that tragedy has to happen to make us aware of certain things that are going on. But shot through his windshield before he could even get out of his car.
Well, this is something you can. Yep. When you're governor.
And I'm governor.
Texas, all cops and state troopers will have bulletproof windows, thanks to you.
It just costs money.
It's fine.
I stirred up a storm the other day talking about property taxes.
Oh.
Yeah, because I said, just an idea. Like, I don't believe in property taxes. I think they're evil.
Yeah.
I don't think they should exist. Everybody's like, well, how are we going to fund this and this and this and this? And maybe we be real conservatives and we make government real small.
How about that, guys? Wow.
I love how these people keep going, you're not qualified to serve as a governor and govern a state as big as Texas and the government over. And I'm like, well, maybe if you had a real conservative that worked hard to make that government smaller, so it wasn't so much to chew on. But it's amazing how conservatives are really pretty liberal themselves. We've all come to rely on big government, and one of those things is property taxes. Now, they're like, well, we got to fund the roads and we got to fund the schools. I don't know how many of y'all have ever driven on the streets in Texas, but damn, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of miles that's got to be covered. But damn, our roads in Texas are horrendous. But we will continue to work on I-35 for the next 45 years. That's going to happen. I mean, this road construction is ridiculous. It's just out of control, this stuff. We got to fund these schools. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Allen High School that rivals most Division II college campuses. And their football state. I mean, it's ridiculous what we do here. And I know it's tradition. Well, if you want those things, quit bitching about exorbitant taxes. These taxes, these property taxes are through the roof. So my proposal, and I talked with several economists. This wasn't just me pulling it out of my ear, right? A lot of people are like, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I talked to several economists. I reached out to them and I said, tell me how we abolish property taxes in Texas. Every one of them said, I said, no, I'm tasking you with this. Let me take the hit. You tell me what you would do if I tasked you with the job of getting rid of property taxes. No one was able to come back with a solid answer, not one that I liked. Because, again, they're like, yeah, but people are going to say, and I said, I don't care what people are going to say. I'm tasking you with this. I want to know. And I have my opinion, but I'm not an economist, right? So I was asking people. But one of the things I came away with, and I posted this on social media, is property taxes, first of all, no, they shouldn't exist. After you have paid for your home, you shouldn't be paying property taxes. Right. Unless you get a second mortgage or some home equity loan or something like that. Then you're back in the game, right? I don't believe over 63, 64, 65 years old you should be. But I believe when you're 50, your property taxes let's start here. Just a starting place. When you're 50 years old, property taxes ought to drop by 10%. When you're 55, let's say, I'm just pulling numbers out. Drop by 12.5%. When you're 60, they should drop by 15%. By the time you're 65, they should go away. I mean, that's fair. Realistically, I think they should go away. If you're 70, there's certain ways that you can file an affidavit to try to get exempted from you, but it's a very hard thing to do in the state of Texas. But government has gotten so big. These problems have gotten so big that they're out of control. And now we talk about all of this stuff that's out there that is distracting us from the issues that are out there. I don't know if people realize this, but on Wednesday, while we're arguing online over all of our money and all of our stuff, right? And we just want to do the right thing. Big government's at work. On Wednesday, oral arguments were heard that ultimately determine whether the community caretaking exception to the Fourth Amendment's prohibition against warrantless searches and seizures extends to private residences. So you know what that means? That means they're coming for you. Warrantless gun confiscation is what that would lead to.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
That is a police officer knocking on your door and says, 10 people died in drunk driving accidents over the weekend. We're here to confiscate your car. That's the same equivalent of that, right? Well, if somebody got shot, we're coming to take your gun. The case stems from a 2015 incident in which police deceptively seized firearms from a Rhode Island couple who had engaged in a heated argument, and they weren't ever accused of a crime, nor was either person deemed an imminent threat to themselves or others. Police argued they seized the firearms from the couple under the, quote, community caretaking exception to the Fourth Amendment. The exception was established by the Supreme Court in 1973 case. According to Forbes, the exception was designed for cases involving impounded cars and highway safety on the grounds that police are often called to car accidents to remove nuisances like inoperable vehicles on public roads. Went to special lengths to be clear that the community caretaking exception only extended to vehicles. There is a constitutional difference between homes and vehicles, folks. So that's one of the things. We got to be careful. See, the Second Amendment, we talk a lot about the Second Amendment. The Fourth Amendment is one we got to be careful. Because, see, they'll sneak up on you.
They're going to be creeping up.
Big government. I'm just trying to reduce your property taxes, get the roads paved out here. Big government's creeping up. They're creeping up. These are the issues that are going on. These are the kind of things we got to be careful. This is when our Governor Abbott needs to step up and say, "Oh hell no,
Yeah.
no, not in this state." But these are the things that are going on. They're deflecting our eyes away from all of these things, right? With the border crisis, with the shootings, you had the cop, you had the officer. Now, that was the point I was alluding to earlier. Is as governor, I'm trying to find ways to keep people safe, keep people armed, keep people healthy, keep people alive, keep our. I don't want to defund our police. I want to defend our police. I want to fund them. I want to see all these things happen. I don't want this kind of crazy law, this kind of crazy governance that's coming in and usurping its rights in draconian dictatorial measures. Those are big words.
Those are.
I've spoken like a governor.
Wow. That really.
So these are the kind of things, man. I want people armed. I would feel better knowing that I'm in a restaurant with 40 people with guns on their belt.
Same.
Than knowing nobody has one.
Absolutely. Because think about all of the shootings that have happened, have occurred over the last, couple months. What about the mass shooting in Atlanta, right? A couple weeks ago. Imagine if one of those salon owners had a gun on them. Or if somebody a patron was in there getting a massage or whatever.
I don't know where she would have had it concealed, but yeah.
Imagine if somebody else, a bystander, had a gun.
Yeah.
All of these shootings that are happening, like we rarely hear of the good guy having a gun. In rare cases.
And when it happens.
Yeah.
When it happens, nobody wants to talk about it.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about it. But I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of cases that happen where people's lives are saved because of the presence of the firearm.
And all of those people,
every year.
They should be commended. We should be painting their names across streets.
Yeah.
Thanking them for saving X amount of people from getting gunned down. But
well, it's like our friend, and I've talked with those boys numerous times that chased the Sutherland Springs shooter.
Right. Yes.
After the church shooting. And they weren't even in the church. And Johnny Langerhans, who was driving the truck, he pulls over for what's his name? And he pulls over for him, and he's holding their AR-15, and he's like, "Get in the truck." They don't even know each other.
Right.
He's like, and I mean, that's a good old boy in Texas right there. Stops and says, "Get in the truck. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where's the party?" You know what I'm saying? Because I don't live in fear of who's got a gun.
Right.
Because most people are sane. Well, unless you're trying to ritually sacrifice your unborn child.
Well, they're those people.
Whole other story. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Democrat-controlled Congress working hard to enact sweeping gun control, capitalizing on tragic shootings. This administration is bypassing Second Amendment infringement and has opted instead to just stomp it right out. During his press conference, Biden promised gun control immediately before changing the subject to something as non-polarizing as bridges and roads, kind of like I did a little while ago.
That was good talk.
I lump it all in there. He said he's going to do all of the above. It's just a matter of timing. Vice President Kamala Harris said, "No one is trying to come after your guns. Stop pushing the false choice that this means everybody's trying to come after your guns. That is not what we're talking about." I don't know what Kamala Harris is talking about, ever.
No one ever knows.
I don't know if she knows what she's talking about. I would love to ask Kamala Harris if she even knows what the capital of Honduras is. Just on the spot. Johnny on the spot.
Chad, you're so funny.
But in the right setting, the duo eagerly pledged their commitment to sweeping gun control. Biden is presently urging lawmakers to pass a federal ban on what he calls assault weapons. No such thing.
There is
no such thing. If I assault you with a rock, it's an assault rock.
Right.
But what he means is semi-automatic guns. 2018, civilians own 16 million of those sporting rifles, meaning legislation like this would limiting gun access for hordes of law-abiding Americans. Biden has also pressed Congress to ban certain kinds of magazines. So let me get into this story right here. The story begins in 2018 with Hallie Biden, widow of the late Beau Biden, and then girlfriend of his brother, Hunter Biden, freaky deaky,
Right there, twisted.
allegedly rummaging through Hunter's truck due to suspicions she had, then finding and subsequently dumping his .38 revolver in a trash can behind a grocery store. When Hallie later returned to the store to recover the gun, as Hunter had directed her to do, it was nowhere to be found. Hallie told the grocery store about the missing gun, and the manager called the police, which then arrived to question the couple. Things got weirder from there, Lisa. The missing gun was particularly worrisome because the grocer was located right across the street from a high school.
Oh, geez.
Prompting fears that it could be used in a crime. While police were questioning Hunter, he also appeared to racially profile 2 Mexican grocery store employees, telling officers they were, quote, probably illegal. Soon after, police and the FBI, which was then looking into Hunter for potential tax crimes, an investigation that's ongoing, arriving at the grocery store, 2 Secret Service agents with badges and identification cards reportedly paid a visit to the gun store where Hunter bought the firearm earlier that month and told the owner to turn over the firearms transaction record from the purchase. Store owners suspected that the Secret Service officers wanted to hide Hunter's ownership of the missing gun in case it were to be involved in a crime. According to multiple people with a first-hand knowledge of the episode. So they held on to the paperwork until the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the agency authorized to review the forms, could get to them. Both the Secret Service and the White House denied involvement. It appears Hunter might have lied on his federal background check.
Oh, you don't
form.
say. Hunter?
Joe
lying?
Biden's son's history of drug use is well known. In fact, he's scheduled to release a tell-all memoir about it next month. That's what you do. You tell all. 2003, 2010, 2014. After being discharged from the military for using cocaine, Hunter was in drug and alcohol rehab programs. His infamous laptop dropped off for repairs in 2019, which the media and tech giants aggressively tried to cover up during the conclusion of his father's 2020 presidential election cycle, including graphic photos and video of Hunter allegedly smoking crack cocaine while engaging in a sex act. Despite this troubling record, Hunter answered no to a question on the firearms transaction record, asking if he was an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance. While lying on this form would have been considered a felony, Hunter was never investigated over his answer. So, from Hunter accusing brown people of being illegals to maybe lying about drug abuse on his government form to the Secret Service cleaning up Biden family messes, pretty highly suspicious. But at the heart of the story is a well-connected person with a sketchy track record getting past a background check, maybe by lying, obtaining a revolver, and somehow losing it in a trash can next to a high school. Now, remember, this is the son of the president, Joe Biden, and same one who doesn't want law-abiding Americans to have the guns that he doesn't like. The hypocrisy is real. That revolver could have been used to shoot up the high school. Thankfully, it was not. Apparently, it was found by an older man who was rummaging through the trash for recyclables. But if it had been, no amount of the Biden administration's gun control efforts would have stopped it. A check on Hunter revealed nothing of substance nor of any consequences if he had indeed lied to the federal government on the form, nor does an assault weapons ban apply to a .38 revolver. And no amount of gun control measures would have stopped the reckless Biden duo from losing a firearm in a grocery store trash can where any rando could find it. Alas, just like our current First Family, Democrats' gun control proposals rarely, if ever, operate within the realm of reality of common sense. Repealing manufacturer liability wouldn't protect victims of gun violence any more than Democrats' Justice in Policing Act would have protected George Floyd. It's all theater. Maybe Biden family gun use is all the president knows about firearms. We're talking about the same Biden who called them AR-14s, after all. But Biden, Harris, and their gun-grabbing friends in Congress would do well to realize that most gun owners aren't lying on background check forms and dumping our firearms willy-nilly in trash cans by schools. Even if we were, none of Biden's anti-gun pipe dreams would stop us. That's from the Federalist right there. That's a pretty well-written article. And
at what point do you think it's a good idea to toss a gun in a dumpster across the street from a school?
Yeah. There's a lot of mental illness going on.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the guns don't fire themselves, people.
Yeah.
And in most cases, they are mentally ill, deranged, psycho,
The situation
manic.
of the shooter the other week in Boulder, Colorado. Colorado has one of the most strictest gun laws and background checks and everything else that, they're strict, right? And he still managed to do what he did.
Yeah.
The laws aren't going to do it.
No, the laws aren't going to do it. And if you want to go and shoot a community up, you'll find a way. You're that psychotic. That's the problem. You're mental. Like Glenn says, the culture is poisoned. This culture is poisoned.
Yeah. Well, you remember what I said yesterday talking about illegals coming to the border. You got to go back to the root cause of the issue. Why are they coming? Right?
Yeah.
You got to go back to the root cause of why people kill other people. And we talked about that. There's no more sanctity of human life. I mean, for crying out loud, you got the church, the temple of Satan, wanting to sue for their ability to ritually sacrifice and abort babies. There's no sanctity of human life anymore. So the issue is the heart of the issue is the issue of the heart. That's where it's at.
It's true.
I'll preach to you now.
I love it.
I will preach.
Keep going. Take me to church.
Come on.
Come on now.
Heart is desperately
Sing
wicked.
a hymn. Sing a hymn.
Desperately wicked and deceitful above all things.
Oh, shoot.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, a symbol of suffering and shame. Come on, Mark.
I think you should open with that tomorrow night at your show. Yeah.
I will.
Really get the crowd pumped.
I will. And I love that old cross, we're the dearest and best. Yeah. We got to get back to the root issue.
Yeah.
And that is the root. That is the issue. People's hearts are totally wicked. And that's the thing, man. We run towards evil. Cain picked up a rock and killed his brother Abel.
We have Satan shoes out now. Little Nas X.
Lil Nas.
With a 1 drop of human blood.
Yeah.
And they're selling 666 of them. How deranged are you to buy? I mean, that's the thing. You've got Nike out there promoting a sneaker.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
They're suing.
They're suing, but it's Little Nas X. And like Candace Owens says, these stars like Little Nas X and Cardi B, they're virtue signaling and they're gaslighting and, they're doing it for the money. And Little Nas X was just, offered a big fat check. And he's like, sure, I'll put my name on that. And I just can't believe this is not a bigger story of people that are outraged. Like, what?
No.
You've got a sneaker, like
I'm
a
outraged.
Satan sneaker?
I'm writing a book called Outrageous.
That's right.
Be right back.
Get this.
Come out and hang with us, Arkansas, Fort Smith, Arkansas, Friday night. Going to be in El Dorado, Arkansas, Saturday night. WatchChad.com. Going to be home. Several different shows are coming up in the next few months, but Arlington, Texas.
I can't wait.
June 4th. Tickets are on sale at Arlington Music Hall. Go to WatchChad.com. Get them. We got a few stuffs that's going on. We're going to do Jackson, Mississippi. That'll be a first time ever.
Oh, fun.
Going to be back in Birmingham, Alabama. We got to get a confirmation on that. Probably be the end of May. And we got some stuff going on. I think we're going to be back in Port Charlotte, Florida. That was a couple of sold out shows. Yeah, we're doing it.
You need to call Ron DeSantis, have him come to your show in Florida.
How fun would that be? Roger Stone came when we were there last time.
Get out, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Roger's a trip, dude. That guy, he's a trip. But yeah, we've got a lot going on. Go to watchchad.com. And Lisa, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Mark, Candace, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for compiling all of it. Candace gets all this stuff together.
She's so good.
And it's like like I try to forget how wicked the world is, and I come in and Candace has a pile of papers for me just to remind me how wicked it is. It is.
Yep.
But hey, life goes on. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. BlazeTV.com/Chad. Use promo code CPS. We will see you Monday night. God bless you. Bye.